Hey! It's been a while. Many of you might be wondering where I was all this time. Well, you see, I've been secretly infiltrating cult after cult after cult in search of the secret to the art of brainwashing. But alas, I have had no such luck. And I have no idea how to brainwash someone. Whatever will I do? Oh, hold on. Let me take that. Come in! Honey, I'm home. Infamous serial killer and cult leader Charles Manson? Like, are you here to teach me how to brainwash the people at home? Nope. Anyway. Before this video starts, I have to put in this little disclaimer. No, sissy hypno does not work. Trust me, I've watched countless hours and it only made me a little gay. Brainwashing. The most extreme forms of mind control. Now, mind control can vary widely. Mind control can mean maybe after a few years of subtle influences and various forms of behavioral training, I can maybe convert this person to holding the same beliefs that I do. Or it can be as extreme as, let's kidnap a man from the streets, tie him up, put him in the trunk of our car, and beat him bloody till he breaks. In this video, we're talking about the latter. And I'll tell you how to get those results with Mark's 3 easy-step process to brainwashing. Starting with you are a product of your outside influences. Ever since birth, the people you surround yourself with, the ideas you've read, the media that you've consumed created your identity. This is what makes you, you. Now, of course, the first step in our brainwashing journey is to isolate a target. You can do what we did and simply kidnap a person, which makes this step super easy, but that's a lot of work and it'll get the police involved. I mean, just because we're trying to make someone into an all-complying slave doesn't mean we have to stoop as low as criminals. So, our second best play is to sway someone into our control. Choosing a person with a healthy social life is a no-go. There are just too many variables to get rid of to actually isolate them. Our best bet is to target someone weak, sad, pathetic, lonely, friendless, girlfriendless, boyfriendless, unloved, which makes you, the audience, a prime target. So, essentially find someone who's very similar to you and you'll be on the right track. Once you get your target, simply cut them off from family, friends, or any forms of media that doesn't coincide with your beliefs 100%. The best way to convince your target is to instill an us versus them mentality. And soon, they'll welcome the isolation. Psychiatrist and mind control researcher Robert J. Lifton described this process as milieu control. Basically, control their environment, so you remain the only influence left. Then, once your target is isolated and alone, we can move on to phase 2, which is... Now that we've got our target completely isolated from all outside influences, that means we can start converting them to our way of thinking, right?
Wrong, Orange Winky!
See, when you try to jam your own identity into them, it just doesn't... There seems to be something blocking the way. But first, let me give you a little lesson, a little something called the hedonic treadmill. Without getting too complicated, look at it this way. This y-axis represents your happiness level, while this x-axis represents time. And this cheeky little boy right here represents your default happiness. The theory is, no matter what good or bad thing happens to you, you will always return to this baseline. I'll get to what these two lines mean later. Now, say your girlfriend breaks up with you. It dips down, but you slowly return to your baseline. You get a promotion at your job, huge spike, but eventually you get used to it. You get your legs chopped off by ISIS, you'll get over it. Now, get ready for this. How about if you hit that subscribe button from this little channel called TripleQuestionMark? Holy shit! Look at it go! It just keeps moving! It keeps going up! I can't believe hitting the subscribe button on the TripleQuestionMark channel could possibly make a person this happy! But even if it makes you the happiest person in the world, all good things must come to an end. Remember these two lines that I mentioned earlier? They represent being so overwhelmed with emotion, you begin to think irrationally. So, the hedonic treadmill of someone who is bipolar may look something like this. Now that you understand the hedonic treadmill, you may ask yourself, why is all this important to brainwashing? Well, a rational mind is an uncontrollable mind. So, let's bring our target back in. Here's what his hedonic treadmill looks like at the moment. This is the point of the kidnapping. See how his happiness line has creeped above the irrational point? He's calmed down a bit. We can't have that. So, unfortunately,
we're gonna have to punish him.
but as you can see, despite our abuse, he's still approaching his baseline. He's getting used to the abuse. We could up the ante, but he'll eventually get used to that too. What do? Easy. We hit the reset button. We'll make him feel great. We'll give him cake. We'll give him care. We'll give him plum. Next thing you know, you'll have them boost in happiness. This way, when you start abusing them again, they're not used to it anymore, and their line returns below the irrational point. This technique is called the honeymoon phase. It's a common tactic among cult leaders and abusers. Question is, why don't we just make them happy all the time? Why can't we make their line climb above the irrational happiness point? Well, humans suffer from what's called loss aversion. Without getting too much into it, basically it takes twice as much effort to make someone happy than it does to make someone equally upset. It's much more efficient to keep someone in distress. And with prolonged exposure below the irrational line, their identity is completely broken. We're almost finished. And don't worry, this is the simplest step by far. All you have to do is to get your target to agree with your beliefs. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's by force or their own free will. Just get them to either verbally or physically agree with whatever your beliefs you want them to have.
Sign this petition or I'll follow you home and kill your dog.
This works because humans enjoy consistency. Consistency is the whole reason why confirmation bias or the sunk cost fallacy exists. Consistency is also why you say the pledge every day at school.
This is not a form of brainwashing.
Or why pathological liars tend to believe their own lies. People naturally want to be true to their past selves. However, since we've taken their sense of identity in step 2, and that there's no one around to repair the broken identity in step 1, there is no way for the brain to be consistent with who it is because, thanks to us, it doesn't know who it is. With this, the brain creates a vacuum, desperately wanting an identity. This is where you come in. Simply give them something to believe. Make them explicitly say they believe it, and then sit back and revel in your new controlled mind. You can do this like cults and have a daily prayer, or you can do this like a genocidal country and spread propaganda.
Pro tip.
You can skip step 1 and 2 and immediately jump to step 3 if you want. However, it could take months or even years to fully change someone's mind. Using the first 2 steps can expedite the process significantly, and I do mean significantly. Now, I think it should should be noted that this step isn't completely malicious. Step 3 is the whole premise behind CBT, cock and ball tour, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's only when you introduce step 1 and 2 it becomes more dangerous. So, why am I teaching you all of this? Isn't it dangerous for me to give out information to essentially ruin and control someone's life? To answer that, I want to tell you guys a little story. Back when I was in college, I had a teacher who taught genocide. He described the horrors experienced by subjugated individuals. He told the class that the first step of any successful genocide is to control the education. After a while, I began getting into learning about cults and began noticing a pattern. Cults, after isolating the target, would always take control of the education of either them or their children, and people found that the best way to get someone out of a cult was to educate them of the tactics used. That's when I came to this realization. Those most susceptible to being controlled are the uneducated. Recognizing the techniques used by cult leaders and abusers allows you to avoid and prevent becoming a victim yourself. That is why I taught you all of this. Not so you can actually go out and brainwash someone, but to understand how brainwashing works. An educated mind is a free one. Anyway, I've got a UFO I need to catch. I'll see you guys later. Cheers. Hey, you made it to the end. Good job. Now, this is the part where people normally click off, but you wouldn't do that to me, right?
Right?
Anyway, on the right here is a list of people who either subscribed or commented on my last video. See if you can find your name in there. And I just wanted to say thank you guys. I haven't uploaded in over a year, but I really appreciate people watching these videos. I put a lot of time and effort into them, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. It's also pretty late, and I am tired, so I'll see you guys later. Also follow my Twitch, you fucking degenerates. I'm trying to get to affiliate, and I only need 28 more followers, so it would really be helpful.
Or his channel down in the description. Subscribe to this guy. Subscribe to TripleQuestionMark, and it's going to be the sort of thing where you want to be able to say down the line, yeah, I've been a subscriber since, I remember I was subscriber 71.
Yeah.
You know, you want to say I was on the train before it left the station, because this is a really good, funny video.